A cycle has been an integral part of Indian households since ages now. Be it while going to school or riding this bike with your friends in your society, we all have driven this two-wheeler. But why am I talking about bicycle all of a sudden? Can this be a source of inspiration for you? Can this two-wheeler put bread on your plate? Well, the answer is yes. And to prove my point, I have a professional MTB bike rider with me today. So what are you waiting for? Let's rock and roll.
There are not many like him in the country. He is one of a kind. Under the baking sun in Ramagondanahalli, Kiran Kumar Raju is busy nurturing his dream. The dream of becoming the best mountain terrain bike or MTB rider. On his bike, he is an unstoppable force. You can feel the intensity when he is riding an MTB. KKR is already a legend when it comes to MTB. Cycling is where he belongs.
MTB bike riding not only needs a lot of power or endurance, it also needs a great amount of skill set on the bike, which is with respect to bike handling skills and how you handle your bike and how much control you have over the bike at high speeds. This got me the attention and got fascinated by it. Back in 2011, when I started cycling and I took part in both road and mountain biking, this caught my fancy more, and I could see good results compared to my road racing back in the day, and that is when I decided mountain biking is where I belong.
On the bike, KKR feels at home. You could sense the speed, the swiftness with which he rides his bike. And what also comes with KKR is a special set of stunts. You've got to be a professional to do this. So we urge all our viewers not to try this at all. Kiran is India's champion MTB rider. Intensity, focus and passion. These are a few things which you require to be a pro cyclist. An MTB rider never gives up. And giving up is not a phrase that exists in Kiran's dictionary. There is a reason behind his love for MTB, which will blow you over. A terrain bike rider is a rare species, and Kiran is indeed a rarity. Cycling is not considered a serious sport in India, but KKR is keen to make it a force to reckon with. He is the one who took the challenge head on to take up cycling as a profession.
Exactly, that you said it right. No one had dared to take it up full time. That is where it hit me that I've been enjoying the sport. I always wanted to represent the country, do something for the country, probably take up a sport. I was never directed back in my old days, back in my younger days or during my schoolings. I was never given the direction because none of my family members are into sports.
Now you have seen him driving the red bike. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? But what makes it special?
Hi friends, this is the bike that I've been riding. You've been seeing the bike from quite some time. I'll explain a little bit about it. The bike is equipped with powerful hydraulic brakes. You can look here. These brakes are very important when it comes to handling the technical trails. The cyclocomputer, which gives the various metrics with regards to time, distance, and also the HR. This not only measures but also captures the entire data during the training. which is later reviewed by the coach. Here you see the pedals. It's called as the SPD pedals, which is fixed to our shoes. They're very specific to mountain biking. This is what helps us to generate more power. My helmet takes care of my safety, which is very important aspect for any given rider. And my sipper bottle is just which gives the importance for hydration during my ride. Most important part of my bike is the drivetrain system. It is the 1x12 system. This is what defines this bike and me for winning the national medal.
Kiran gave up his job for cycling. The passion for cycling was so intense that Kiran Kumar Raju gave up his job to live his dream. He wanted to be a pro MTB rider, come what may. How many of us will do that?
So what I did is in 2014, I realized I'm not enjoying my professional career as a civil engineer. When I got promoted at work, promotion at work is nothing but handling more sites, which means my commute time was reduced, because the only mode of training was commuting to work. Better job opportunity, but I didn't enjoy that. What I used to enjoy was having a good race experience, irrespective of the result.
There have been challenges along the way, but KKR conquered them all. Taking cycling as a career? You've got to be kidding! Given the success he has registered, it's indeed a breakthrough for Indian cyclists. It has been a courageous and determined effort from the Bengaluru boy. KKR has participated in over 100 races, each one bringing a challenge of its own. Instead of running away from the situation, he decided to take it head on. He still remembers his maiden and his last race with a lot of pride.
Everyone remembers their first race. I completely remember my first race. It was a road race in the month of February 2011. It was a 7-kilometer individual time trial. I took part in that race on my friend's bike, an Indian version of a road bike, which is called the Hero Hawk bike. So I took part. I think I finished 21st place. The timing was around 22 minutes, if I'm not wrong. I did better than a lot of guys who were on good competitive bikes. I did enjoy the experience. I still have photos of it and cherish till date.
Kiran started his pro MTB career in 2011, and in just 7 seasons, he has amassed 76 medals against his name. He has participated in 123 races across 3 disciplines, MTB, road and duathlon, and has won a total of 76 medals, which gives him a win percentage of over 60. The best part is that out of these 76 medals, he has won 41 gold medals. Now you have got to know that cycling has 3 major categories. But which one is KKR's favorite?
So, broadly speaking, when we talk about cycling, there are 3 different categories: road cycling, mountain biking, and track cycling. And every 3 categories have subcategories, different formats and different events to every event. Now I'm into mountain biking. In mountain biking itself, we have different formats. One is downhill race, which is nothing but bigger bikes, wider tires, bigger suspensions. They wear full face helmet. Their job is to come from top of a mountain to bottom of the hill the fastest.
They say in any sport, you've got to start early. Kiran is 32 years old and took to cycling when he was 24, which was way above the average age of an athlete. Something which doesn't worry him at all.
At times, yes, definitely. Now we have a good crop of younger athletes who are actually doing really well. I mean, at the recent nationals that I've been part of. Yes, looking at the youngsters, I always felt I wish I could have started a lot early. But when you look at the international stage also, we have a lot of people who have continued and continue to do really great when we consider tennis, for example. Right now, I think the top 5 ranks is being dominated by the same old people who have been dominating 10 years back, right? It just goes to show that hard work is more important than just talking about age. I mean, since cycling or mountain biking in India have not been taken up by anyone, so I thought, why not push this envelope and pave the path for the youngsters or younger generations or future generations to come, to make sure to consider mountain biking as part of their curriculum or sports discipline.
When someone gets ready to go to a job to earn one's daily wages, Kiran is busy riding his bike. A major part of his day is involved in practicing and training for long hours. He has got no time for anything else other than cycling in his life.
When I go out early morning, I somehow can't take the cold and I suffer a lot in the initial half an hour. So I get up late because the lifestyle that we have followed in our house is we have late dinner, sleep late, right? So I've been brought up in that lifestyle. So when I get up late, have my quick breakfast, start my ride around 9 o'clock, which is almost when the sun is out at its peak. It's kind of an advantage also because we have a lot of races happening right in the middle of the day. So this is just prepping up me for, should I say, harsher race conditions.
Kiran has come through the ranks. He has seen the struggles, the disappointments, the highs and the lows. But nothing hurts him more than the differences in facilities between India and the rest of the world.
First off, to start with racing in international events, all the races that I've done, is the organization itself. How they conduct, how it's been marked, how it's been communicated. The entire administration or the organization level at the execution stage is been excellent, right, when compared, because we don't have enough experience in our country yet.
Competition is what drives Kiran. Racing while practicing is different, and racing in a competition is a different challenge. With an experience of over 100 races under his belt, representing India twice is his biggest achievement.
My first international race representing India at the Asian Championship back in 2017 when I went to China. This was the toughest race for me because this was a UCI level race representing India for the first time. I had too much pressure for myself, thinking that I didn't know about the competition, I didn't know where I stood in terms of my fitness levels compared to the competition. I was good in India, but how good compared to the Asian riders was a question mark because I never raced against them.
The highs and the lows. Like any other sports person, KKR too had his fair share of struggles. But he never let his problems come in his way to affect his love for cycling. Cycling wasn't just a sport for him. He was discovering himself on the way.
For me, the whole point that I'm discovering myself through this journey. Like I said, I always wanted to represent the country at international stage. I always get goosebumps when I see quadrennial events like Olympics, Commonwealth Games, Asian Games. And when I see all our Indian athletes performing well, when they stand on the podium and when the national anthem is being sung behind, I always, as a child, I used to get goosebumps, like seeing that. I always want to be there. Unfortunately, I was never schooled into any sport back in the day. Now when I got this opportunity, I was like, why not grab it with both the hands and see how far I can push. Because I know I always wanted to be good at something. I knew it was never studies. I knew it was never any form of other sports, because I've tried playing football, hockey, but I've never enjoyed as much as what I'm doing right now in cycling. So when I won the nationals in 2015 and have been consistent ever since, and with the experience of traveling outside the country, and since I know what it really takes, and I know I can reach there with good guidance and sufficient support from the system and from friends and family, I knew I could do it. So I decided to keep pushing and see when the breakdown happens.
For any sports person, a performance in the middle depends on how fit you are and your recovery. Kiran gives due importance and focus on his diet, training, and recovery.
I maintain my diet as simple as possible. Fruits, vegetables, try to avoid as much as white rice possible. Then a lot of dry fruits. Yep, yeah, maintaining clean food, clean intake, timely intake, and the quantity of food for me is just by feel. Focus on strength and conditioning. So I do go to the gym about 2 to 3 days per week, depending on how close I'm to the competition. Closer to the competition, the number of gym days reduces per week.
The people who matter. Any individual in a competitive sport requires a team on which he can rely. For KKR, that happens to be his manager and friend, Deepak Maji Patil. A relationship which started off accidentally is now a firm friendship.
My manager is there right from the day I've started cycling. Even before I won a race, my manager was there. So he was the one I met in a cycling tour called Tour of Nilgiris, where I volunteered the event in 2010. He got to know me well. I did a good job volunteering at that event. I expressed my interest to start competing in races immediately, because that is when I got a big interaction with the cycling community as per se. When I went to the first race and I came back, I said I want to start competing in all the races. He said, yeah, go for it. I'll support whatever I can from my power.
No champion is complete without a proper coach. Kiran is lucky to have a coach, and that too from Australia.
My first coach, till date, I've had 2 coaches. My first coach was my teammate back in 2013. We used to race together in the same team, in the same club team. His name is Naveen John. He's the current Indian road national champion. He has coached me for the first 4 years of my cycling. For the first 3 years of my cycling career. 2015 to 17, where I won 6 national medals under his guidance. It was him who actually molded me into a better athlete, how an athlete needs to think outside the box, race outside the country, to aim for the bigger, bigger goals, right? Unfortunately, once I finished my 2017 national medal is when he decided he needs to move on with his own professional career in road racing and keep his focus with road specific, and told me to, and he said that I need to move on to a specific coach to mountain biking where it will help me be a better rider. After that, I started looking out for coaches internationally, because in India we are yet to have a MTB specific coach. Then through a friend who was trained under a UCI level coach in Australia, so I got in touch with him, spoke to the coach, and she was more than happy to have me on her student program. So I've been working I've been working with her since June 2018, and I've been really happy, and I can see a lot of difference between the previous coach and this coach. Nothing against my previous coach, it's just that we are getting that much more specific with respect to mountain biking.
So Kiran, the mountain biker, is very focused. He's clearly got a goal, and he's willing to sacrifice quite a lot, time with his family and young daughter to achieve that goal. And he's certainly on his way, and he's achieved quite a lot, and hopefully will achieve more in the future.
The happiness on his face while cycling goes beyond words. It's not a mere sport for him. Cycling is like oxygen for Kiran, something without which he cannot live.
We'll slip into a short break here, but on the other side, we reveal the family side of KKR. So stay tuned. In order to perform at the highest level, a sportsperson needs to have the passion and the dedication to move forward and bring out his best. But where does the motivation comes from? For KKR, the motivation comes from his family. So in this section, we meet KKR's family.
When he finishes with his daily training, Kiran returns to his house in Malleshwaram. He is not a racing champion at home, he is a son, a husband, and a caring father. The decision to become a professional cyclist did not go down well with his parents. But Kiran convinced them.
When I wanted to buy my first bike, it was very important that I convinced my father and they're happy that I'm happy about my purchase, because I think I spent close to 60,000 to buy that bike in 2012 when I got my first bike. It was very important for me to convince them first, why am I doing this, why am I buying a bike of such expensive value, right? They were initially mad at me. What are you trying to achieve? Cycling is a new sport, never heard of, never thought about. It's never been covered extensively in media. No one knows about it. You're trying to make a fool out of yourself and spend a lot of money.
Kiran's parents admitted that the journey of the top MTB cyclist has not been an easy one at all.
ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಂದ್ವಿ. ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ, ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಮ್ಲಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಾಗೂ ಇದ್ದ. ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಸಂಸಾರ ನಡೆಸೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ತೊಂದರೆನೇ ಆಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಹೋಪ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ರೈಸರ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಗ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, MS ಆರ್ಥೋಪೆಡಿಕ್ಸು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಟ್ರಬಲ್ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ.
ಅವನು ಸೈಕಲ್ಲು ಫಸ್ಟು ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಆವಾಗ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬಂತು. ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಪಲ್ಯೂಷನು, ಈ ಸ್ಕೂಟ್ರು ಕಾರ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದರೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಆದರೆ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಜಾಮ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ಲೇ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಫೀಸು ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು ಅವನ ಆಸೆನೂ ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವನು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ದೆ. ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟು ನೀನು ಓದ್ಬಿಡು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ವಿ. ಸರಿ, ಅವನು ಹಂಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದ. ಆವಾಗ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂದರು. ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ.
Spending time with his family is what energizes Kiran, especially with his 8-month-old daughter, Bhumi. She is the apple of his eye and someone who keeps him motivated.
I mean, you can't waste your time, you have to value it that much more. And the goals needs to be kept really realistic. We can't go overboard and because you will be a proving point for your own children. You don't want your own kid to laugh at your father, right? So it was very important to prove a strong point for my own kid. And like I said, one step towards that was to win the nationals this year. And thinking about your child, it'll only make you stronger and that much more emotional about the entire thing.
Another individual who has been an integral part of Kiran's journey is his wife Megha. She has been through thick and thin and witnessed her husband's highs and lows.
It's been amazing for me because I'm not a person who can be married to a typical 9 to 5 job person. So I need excitement and I get that from my husband. So that's the good part. Of course, there are difficulties. There are times when you don't, see your husband for 2 long months when you have a new kid, and that takes toll on your life.
When we were seeing each other back in 2014, and when she used to see my unhappiness over work and see my drip in performance in my cycling career, she was an outdoor person who always used to think that you should always follow your passion. She actually encouraged me to quit my job and take up cycling full time, and also uh, went on to say that don't think about the finances part. I will try to support as much as possible till you can get support and sponsorship from the other resources. I'm sure when you go on to do good stuff, things will fall in place. Till then, I'm there to help you financially and taking care of your family, even though we were still seeing each other and not married.
Being a sportsperson's wife is never easy, but Megha has what it takes to be one.
It depends on the sports actually. If you're a wife of a sportsman who's into a sports that's just upcoming, then it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have support them, both financially and mentally. You need to be there because not everybody knows what your husband is doing. You go to a function and then they ask you what your husband is doing, and you tell them he's a cyclist. They give you looks. They're like, huh, what? So yeah, it's much more than just saying, it's just much more than being cool.
Family support is always important, and Kiran is lucky to have that. After a good time with his family, it's time for Kiran to return to his first love, cycling. Something without which he cannot live. Kiran accepts that he is not the best in the world and has his own set of strengths and weaknesses.
My biggest strength, I would say, as a MTB biker right now, is a combination of climbing and technical skills, bike handling skills. This has been my biggest strength as of now. Talking about strength, I need to talk about my weakness. I need to develop, when I say weakness, I'm comparing myself at the Asian circuit. I need to develop a lot of strength and power is what I'm working towards for 2019 and 2020.
No sportsperson is complete. No sportsperson is perfect. What one can do is to iron out the deficiencies to become better. That's what Kiran wants to do. He wants to become a better cyclist, each and every day. Kiran has already marked his future goals.
My current goal, future and current goal is to do well at the Asian Championship in the next 2 years. I've given myself 2 years to hit the podium steps. The realistic goal that I know I can really do well is top 10 result at the Asian Championship in the month of July in 2019, which is going to happen in Lebanon.
With success come expectations. With expectations comes pressure. Kiran has some expectations to fulfill.
The dream would obviously be to represent India at the Olympics. So that would be the go-to dream. It's just whatever he does is it's just setting new standards and getting new records. So I hope we can reach there, but otherwise representing India at the Asian levels, doing great there, and all that is also good enough.
Speed thrills him. MTB riding is what he lives for. He has already made a niche for himself, yet has a lot more to achieve. The journey of KKR is an inspirational one. one which should inspire the next generation to take up cycling as a professional sport.
Intensity is what he brings on the racetracks. Determination is his biggest motivation, and the hunger to perform for the country is what drives him. Kiran Kumar Raju, a name which we'll all hear a lot in the near future. He has multiple medals against his name, but has that drive, that passion and that hunger to make India proud at the international stage over and over again. With camera person Guru Sharan, this is Abhijit Singh for News 9, Bengaluru.